Hi, I'm Greg Benfield. In this little screencast I'm going to introduce you to the processes for mapping graduate attributes at Oxford Brookes University in academic year 2012-13. This is the first of a set of 3 little screencasts on the topic. The other 2 look at well-produced documentation. You're going to need 2 documents for this process. First, a mapping document. This is the document you're going to be using to record the outcomes of your discussions about how graduate attributes are developed in your program. The second document is a blank program specification in the new Oxford Brookes University program specification template. Let's look at the mapping document in just a little more detail. This first page is just an outline of the process. It's here in section 2 that you record the outcomes of your analysis of how graduate attributes are developed in your program. In particular, you are going to present here your existing program level learning outcomes reorganized under the 5 headings of the 5 Brookes graduate attributes. This is a change from how they are organised now. Your existing program specification will probably list your program learning outcomes under the headings Knowledge and Understanding, Professional and Disciplinary, and Transferable Skills. I want to draw your attention as well to section 4 of this document. This is a summary of outcomes of team discussions that you will have held where you've analysed how program develops the 5 graduate attributes. Section 4 links to the appendix. If we switch to the appendix and look at it now, use the appendix, which is called a mapping table, to record your discussions and your analysis in team meetings of how individual modules contribute to developing the 5 graduate attributes. There's a page for each of the graduate attributes. You're expected here to consider every module in the program one by one and record how a given graduate attribute is taught, practiced, and/or assessed. Clearly, not every module is going to develop every graduate attribute. We'll look at this in more detail in the 2 example screencasts. When you've finished your team discussions, you'll transfer a summary of these results into section 4 of the program mapping document. And there are a couple of things to draw your attention to about the program specification. First, it's in a new template. It is not a trivial process to transfer your old program specification into the new one. There are some changes that are going to require you to do some thinking and some writing. The first major change is that your program level learning outcomes will now be recorded under the 5 headings of the 5 Brookes graduate attributes. The second important element to draw your attention to is that you are going to need to write a narrative about how learning, teaching and assessment occurs in your program, paying special attention to how the graduate attributes are developed. The 2 exemplar screencasts will look at this in more detail. Much of the rest of this document can be cut and paste from your original program specification. So that's the end of part 1, an overview of the documentation and the basic process. It's probably time now to have a look at one or other of the 2 examples.